Rifling, take 2.
And action.
Yes.
I'm having fun.
Impact Visual Media is a local video production company. We produce television commercials, web videos, things like that. As it turns out, one of the partners in our company has been wanting to tell a story for a long time. Apparently her father was the only Spanish-speaking reporter for the Miami Herald during the 50s and 60s when Castro was coming to power. And when he passed away, he left her a big footlocker full of newspaper articles and personal writings that kind of paint a picture of his relationship with Fidel Castro.
I had always understood that my father had an extraordinary relationship with Fidel that spanned decades, but I didn't initially comprehend what my father's real role might have been. And then I started to really connect some other dots and realized that my father had worked in the Office of Naval Intelligence before he became a reporter at the Miami Herald. So at this point, I truly believe that my father was used or had a relationship with the CIA to gather intelligence, and he was positioned to do so. And I think maybe the reason that his relationship with Fidel Castro came to an abrupt end, which it did, may have been because his cover got blown.
Since before America has even existed, Cuba has been this strategic location that essentially is kind of the center of the Caribbean, and it controls the trade and the shipping and everything in that area. And so, you know, what with all the recent news about Cuba, I mean, this is a hot topic.
So we really kind of put this video together to just get the ball rolling, you know, just get something started. All of the actors and the crew are volunteers. I mean, this is not a low-budget film. This is a no-budget film. George is played actually by Chucha's son, which is the son playing the role of his grandfather. Molly works in the local bank. Joe, the government guy, was played by Dennis Pierre St. Charles. He's never acted before in his whole life. So that was a pretty exciting thing for him.
And so what we would hope to really take this story to the next level is, you know, real funding, real actors, you know, real production value, really.
I think this is an extraordinary time to tell an extraordinary story using a resource that may not exist in any other place.
It's got it all. It's got, again, the intrigue, right? The government involvement, the kind of spy, espionage theme. But it's got a backstory, a love story. It's got the guy who stands up for what he believes in, right? He's a professor at a college, right? And he's also, a chief editor at the paper.
I think that what's magical about the opportunity to tell this story is that it's a small man's perception and a single man's impact on international historical relations.
I mean, the things that man saw and knew, and then to think about, what his ethics as a journalist caused him to actually write. The dichotomy between those two things is just incredible, and I think it's a story that needs to be told.
Has arrived in Miami, Florida, making plans to topple the government of Fulgencio Batista. Fidel Castro, an attorney from Cuba's Oriental province, has some experience.
Jim. Yeah, I'll tell him. George, Pete wants to see you in his office.
Got it.
Died in the fighting. Castro said most of his men were captured by the army and then assassinated.
You must be Shade. I've read your stuff. Take a seat.
Where's Pete?
No, I'm just here for a private conversation with you.
Something wrong?
Say, you speak Spanish, right?
I do. Italian, French, a little Portuguese.
Any Chinese or Russian?
No.
What about German or Korean?
No. Why?
I was just curious. Hey, you know, I sat in on your class on ethics and journalism at the community college.
I don't remember you being in there.
Yeah, I sat in the back. I was curious about that thing you said about the end not justifying the means. I mean, let's say you're traveling on a train and there's a dozen or so people trapped on the track ahead and you know they're going to die if you don't stop.
I'm sorry.
But the conductor
Is that what this is about?
No. Just curious. Let's talk about national security, George.
Yes, I understand. Uh-huh. Yeah, look, lady, just because his grandfather is from Russia doesn't mean he's a spy. Look, I'll look into it. Right.
You can take this goddamn bonus money and shove it up your ass. I'm a reporter. I'm not a goddamn spy.
Take it easy, George. I'm just here to try to help you out, okay?
I don't need your help. Are we done?
No, we'll be done when I say we're done. We're here on a mission. Isn't that right, Tom? Now, I need some closure on this today.
That sounds like it's your problem. I'm out of here.
All right. You're making me force my hand, George. I really didn't want to do this, but it looks like you've given me no other choice.
I told you I can't be bought. Not for any amount of money.
This isn't money, George. It's not money at all.
What is it then?
Take a look.
No.
Oh, are you sure? I was going to send these back to D.C., but you know how things get lost in the mail or even get to the wrong address? We'd hate for that to happen, right, Tom?
Where's your wife, Georgie?
I don't see her. Yeah? Another round.
Georgie, you're so bad.
Yeah, she's pretty impressive, I must say. But you probably don't remember too much. You look pretty loaded. Hey, Tom, how come the broads always go for these smart guys?
Where did you get these?
Now, come on, George. Do I have to spell it out for you? Don't you see what's going on here? We're here because you need to do something for us, and no is just not an option. Jesus Christ, Tom. This guy isn't as smart as I thought.
Look, I'm sorry.
Look, nothing. This is serious business. You're gonna do what you're goddamn told to do. Now, I've tried to be nice, but I am done. You can keep the pictures. I have more where they came from.
Should have taken the money, smart guy.
Castro says he's worried about public opinion in the United States, and he's also worried about the internal situation in Cuba. Batista is a dictator who has violated the rights of...
Oh, hey, George. There's some guy here. He's out in the lobby. Doesn't speak much English. Maybe from Cuba? Says you want to meet with him.
Castro admits that if his revolutionary movement succeeds, he does not know who would take over the presidency, but, quote, at least we would call immediate elections and live by the Constitution, unquote.